after that last live chat that we did, I got so many comments from people mad at me talking about, Dare, you I've been talking about men that's weak, men that's this, that, and the other. My man, he ain't like this. I know a man that's like my brother, my daddy like this. Look. Let me make something very clear. There are two types of men out here. There are men who are intimidated by a woman who's ready to grow and learn and build and evolve. There are those types of men. I consider them to be weak men who are destined to remain weak because of their mindset. And then there are evolved men out here who understand that a woman who is properly loved in return is going to help maximize everything in his life, and they want to see you win. Even if we want to consider it selfish, they're at least smart enough to know if I invest into this woman, her return on that investment is going to be 10x what I could have done by myself, or definitely anything that would have resulted from me not treating her properly. And I believe that, yeah, there are women out here who are independent. They got it all figured out. Cool. But I also believe there are women out here who say, you know what? It'll be nice to have a man in my corner that got my back like I got everybody else's. Matter of fact, I don't even want to go off that belief because maybe I'm tripping. If I'm talking to you, put I down in the chat when I say there are women out here who, yes, that you got your own. You can pick yourself up in hard times. You can figure things out. You can make things happen. But dang it, it would be nice to have a man that got your back. That if you didn't have it, he got it. That even if you got it, he still got it. That's when he's around, because he's so protective, because you feel so secure with him, because he's so safe based on his consistency, based on his character. Like, it would be nice to have that kind of man where you don't even always have to use your brain like that. Like, he around, you ain't even got to think for real because your man got it. I believe that with all of this independent women rah-rah stuff, there are women out here who would appreciate having a man like that in their corner, by their side. Forget all of this stuff you see on social media, all the trauma topics and bad topics, like that's all that's out here. I know that's out here. We talk about that, but I talk about that because I want to separate those guys from the evolved men that are for the type of woman that, yes, you got it all on your own, but you don't always want to have it on your own. You want a man that says, yeah, you could do it by yourself, but because I love you, you ain't got to do it by yourself. Put I down in the chat if that's you. Because I believe those women are out there. Now, with that being said, I need everybody to understand there are men out here who want to see you win. For all of the men out here that, you know what I'm saying, wanted to try to reduce you, invalidate you, neglect you, minimize, there are men out here who want to see you win, who are on the other side of that immaturity, of that insecurity, of that fear of seeing that the counterpart is able to do things and elevate. Because truthfully, that's how God designed us. He said we're not good alone. We're supposed to integrate into each other, feed off each other, build each other up. This society as God is pitted against each other. But there are men out here who want to see you win. So there are 5 signs that it lets you know, first off, if that man truly wants to see you win. First thing is, whenever you notice that your growth doesn't intimidate him. If anything, it inspires him, but it doesn't intimidate him. You don't bring up a way that you're elevating, that you're growing, that you're progressing in life. You don't bring up a topic in which you've done this and then the conversation get dry. That lets you know more than likely you're in the presence of a man that wants to see you grow. He wants to see you grow. He asks you more questions. He asks you about how much further you think you can take it. When you talk about something that you want, I don't care if it's physical, financial, spiritual, mental, emotional, any new books, whatever it is that you got going on, new things you think you might want to try. You never feel discouraged after that conversation. If anything, he may bring to you additional ways that you can take it further, but maybe you missed a spot. Maybe you got some details missing and he's going to try to take care of that for you, help you with that, talk you through that, have you consider things you didn't consider, but you never feel like maybe I shouldn't go after my highest conception of myself because you dealt with it. Whenever you get the feeling like, man, he makes me want to be better. Talking to him makes me want to go harder and be better. I get more excited from talking to him. That's a man that wants to see you win. Your growth does not intimidate him. He wants to see you win. Another way that you know you're dealing with a guy that wants to see you win is whenever his grind for his goal doesn't become an excuse to neglect you, all in the sake of sticking to the plan and, you having the vision. I don't know how many of y'all ever dealt with a guy who was ambitious and you loved that about him. But somehow at some point, especially after he started getting what he wanted, that grind and that ambition translated into you having to just wait until all of this stuff got achieved in order for you to get the man that you got initially introduced to. If I'm talking to somebody, put I down in the chat. He presented all of this effort and attention and affection. He presented all of this care and consideration. But after a couple of months, maybe not even that long, all of a sudden, he became hard to reach. He barely wanted to text back and call. The dates wasn't happening no more. The compliments. And if you ever came and say, hey, look, these are my needs. This is what I'm needing. Pretty much what you introduced me to. He always brought things back to the grind, man. I'm on my grind. I got to work. I got to do this. You know what I'm saying? You want a man that work hard. You want money, don't you? Put I down in the chat if that sounds familiar to you. Because when a man wants to see you win, he's going to be focused on his grind. Nothing is going to come before God and what God has designed him to do on this earth. That is simply a masculine man. But a part of being a masculine man is being a smart man and understanding when you got an asset in a woman, if you integrate her, that little bit of sacrifice is going to produce fruit way more than what you could have done by simply leaving her out of the equation. A man that wants to see you win, he's not only going to keep your emotional needs as a priority, not the number one, his whole life revolve around you, but he's not only going to keep it in its proper place on the priority list. He's going to want to take you along that ride, teach you things, pour into you, show you things. One, because he's genuinely interested in building and taking this journey with you on the way to this whatever vision that he got for you. But also because he understands if I leave my number one teammate, if I leave my safe place, if I leave her in the dust, that hurts me. That holds me back. Any smart and evolved man, should I say, understands if he got a real one by his side, yeah, he can make millions, he can do his thing, but boy, he can go so much further with that woman because so many things that you provide as a woman that we don't have. And we're okay with that because we understand if we integrate properly into that, we can tap in while you tap into our strengths and we both win. So a man that wants to see you win is never going to use his grind, his work and all. Nah, he ain't going to use that as an excuse to put you on the back burner, to silence you whenever you say you want more quality time, to invalidate you whenever you notice that he's changed. If you get that from a man, you either got a man that doesn't know how to manage his own internal state, or you have a man who's using the good thing of his ambition and his work ethic as a manipulative weapon to reduce you, to silence you, to make you smaller in the relationship until it comes strictly about him. And now you have the cat and mouse dynamic. And some of y'all have been in that situation. You got this man talking about, oh, I got to work, I got to da-da-da-da. And now you feel like, oh, I got to play my part. I got to be silent. I got to do this, that, and the other. Or I got to go over and beyond, make this a one-sided relationship until I inspire him to finally give me some attention. And of course, you know how that ends. At some point, you get burnt out. If you don't get burnt out, you get resentful. If you don't get resentful, you start mentally checking out until you physically walk out. Amen, somebody? Another way that you know that man wants you to win is if he invests in you. Again, as a man is grinding, hopefully he's not completely broke. I'm not here to broke shame, but any evolved man is going to wait until he got something, be able to just take care of himself before he starts seriously dating. Now, if y'all in a relationship, that's different, but that ain't what we're here to talk about. But when a man truly cares about you and he wants to see you win, he's willing to take some of that which he's earned for himself, even if he has a lot of ways to allocate it and things like that, and he will invest in you. Outside of just the finances, he will invest that time in you. Yeah, he spends 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day on his grind or whatever it is. But if he invests in his queen for an hour, and I'm talking about strictly into what you want, what you got going on, what you think you might want to do. If he invests that, again, simultaneously, it will start to accumulate and compound into what he got going on. A man who wants to see you win will invest in you. A man who's intimidated by you winning will find any excuse to leave you alone. But then let you get some money, let you get something going on for yourself, then he gonna act like he entitled. That's if a man don't want to see you win. Again, all men are not created equal. Well, all men are created equal. All men don't move equal. All men don't move equal. So when you're talking about like certain men that don't want to see you win, yeah, they're going to do these types of things. They're going to withhold from you, but then try to use you on the other end of you doing it without their help. Put I down in the chat if I'm talking to somebody. Wouldn't help you. Barely took any interest in what you had going on. But soon as you got something going on, oh man, he need this money. He need this. He need that. Man, you supposed to do for me, man. Come on now. You see, I've been. But when a man wants to see you win, he might only have $500 to his name. $50, $100 gonna go to you getting a little course or something like that. And outside of just a financial investment, he'll still invest his energy, his time into you, into the relationship, pouring into the relationship, pouring and nurturing the relationship with you. Another way that you know that man wants to see you win is if he puts you in position and gives you more options than what you had before you came across him. This can be in terms of the network. This can be in terms of just his resources. Again, you have access to him. He should put you in position. If you get with a man and you notice bridges around you are starting to burn, that ain't the man for you. And I'm talking from friendships, business relationships. If you notice you can barely bring this man into any circle where you got something to lose, that ain't the man for you. If you notice that you bring him into circles with your friends, your family, and then after that, you notice there's strife in your friends and family circles because they are constantly pulling for you to be at least where you are right now, but more so where you could be. And that man, they're noticing something conflicting with that. We ain't talking about you going and giving them information or giving them a perspective that's one-sided and you painting him as a bad person because you upset in the moment. Not talking about that. I'm talking about simply by him meeting your family, being around your friends. They get an uneasy vibe that's not through this rose-colored glasses that you see him through. And now all of a sudden there's strife. Now you got to constantly defend this man until the point where you don't even want to go around friends and family the same way. You know, this is one of the ways that a man will isolate you. He won't actually do it by saying, oh, stop being around friends and family. He'll create friction in your personal circles, knowing that he's creating friction in your personal circles. And then as a testament to your love for him, expect or imply that you need to choose him since there is a choice to be made. And once you're isolated, of course, you're weakened. But when a man wants you to win, he will look to increase those relationships around you. There'll be situations where he'll do things or say things to your friend or to your mama or whoever to try and strengthen that relationship. If there's any strife, he'll say, hey, look, I think maybe you can approach this a different way and talk to her. Maybe you can understand her a little bit, or maybe she'll have a better opportunity to understand you if you had the conversation like that. Even that's a form of putting you in position to have more support around you outside of him. And now let's take it from social to professional. To be able to connect you, to introduce you in a highly esteemed way to those that matter to him. Not having you walking 10 steps behind him whenever he come into a space to do business or when other people may know him or something like that. But have you side by side, putting you, like that's what a man who wants to see you win is going to do. And one more way you know that man wants to see you win is when he will seek out on his own ways to make you smile. Ways to make your day better. Ways to just increase your quality of life on a consistent basis. Not just whenever he effed up. Not just in the beginning whenever he's trying to establish himself or hook you, love bomb you. But when that man will assertively look for ways, seek out ways to make you smile, to increase your quality of life, that man wants to see you win. Now, what does that have to do with winning, Derek? I'm going to tell you right now. The more that he nurtures the feminine, again, it's like a flower. That's what y'all like a garden. When nurtured correctly, when dealt with properly, consistently, you abound fruit, you abound produce that can feed a nation. That's just what it is. It ain't just figurative. So when the man is assertively looking to invest himself, to find ways to make you smile, to listen for those little things that you said that you like, to listen for those little goals, not even little, but those goals that you don't even mention in a big way. It's just a part of your conversation because that's what's on your mind. That's what you dwell on. And he looks for ways to serve you. When he assertively does that, and that's very important, that man wants to see you win. That's a part of his heart posture, is to see you elevate, to see you grow, to see you win. Because the more that he does that, the more you're going to step into your feminine. And the more you step into your feminine, your natural position, especially when it comes to relating with a man, the best that's going to get brought out of you, the better that you're going to be and be able to show up in every aspect, in every role in life. But on the other hand, you know that man don't want to see you win. If the only time that he steps up to the plate is whenever you literally got to shove him up to the plate. The only time he steps up to the plate is whenever y'all have some type of argument and now you don't want to have sex with him. So in order to make that right, AKA sweep it under the rug, AKA override what really needs to be done in order to remedy and heal the relationship, and instead just try to fill up the relationship real quick with some dopamine and serotonin based on some type of big aha moment. Like when a man don't really care to see you win, he'll weaponize even great experiences. Hurt you, do you wrong, do you dirty, and instead of having a hard conversation, putting his ego aside, checking his pride at the door, and then listening to you to understand, he'll buy you something. He'll buy you something. Or some other public display of affection, something like that, to where now you feel invalid, still coming and addressing the issue at hand. I'm talking to somebody. I know I ain't talking to everybody on this, but somebody knows what I'm talking about. If you've ever dealt with a guy who did have somewhat of a romantic inclination or had a little money or something like that, and you got into it with him, things really needed to be addressed, but instead of addressing them, he just took an escape route. He took an easy way out, and he just like kind of dangled carrots in front of your face, distracted you with something that would make you, of course, smile, or put you on the spot in front of other people to make you smile, or try to have sex with you instead. And so that way, afterwards, you felt like, man, I want to say something to him, but maybe I shouldn't mess up the momentum. I know I'm kind of going deep today, but I really need y'all to hear this, because there are men, of course, that are intimidated by their woman. There are men out here, man, who will be your biggest hater. A lot of y'all be thinking y'all other women be hating on y'all. Some of y'all laid up right now with your biggest hater. Ooh, I know that hurt. Some of y'all laid up with your biggest hater. And let me tell you one of the things your hater will do. Sometimes your hater, if you're not careful to pay attention to those red flags, because they always show them, the hater always show them. I'm talking about your man here. If you're not careful enough to pay attention to those red flags, what they'll do is they'll let those red flags turn into regrets later on down the road by saying, you know what? She clearly ain't trying to let me go. If she clearly going to continue to be lit and continue winning, I'm going to just use her. I'm going to take what I can from her. And then at some point, I'm going to act like we just grew apart. When the truth is, I held resentment from her success, from her elevation from the very beginning. So I'm getting what I can get off of it, using it to pull me up. And then I'm going to go get with a woman that wouldn't have looked twice at me in the state that this particular young lady, you, found me in. I'm going to literally use this woman right here as a stepping stool. So instead of continuing to be combative with all of the challenges and accountability and all of the things that she's bringing me to help lift me up, push me to a new level, and I'm seeing her win and stuff like that, and she won't stop winning despite me telling her I'm insecure and showing her, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use everything that she's showing me. I'm gonna use whatever she invests in me. I'm gonna use this one-sided benefit to the relationship as a way to now step up and prepare for another woman. I know that sounds cold-hearted, but it's happened before. I promise you it's happened before. Some of y'all have seen it for yourselves. And the only way it can happen to you, the only way it did happen to you, if it has already, or can happen to you, is if you do not understand and you do not recognize when you're headed towards an internship with a man instead of a relationship. And there's a major difference. Now, it can get kind of complicated, but I simplified it in a free masterclass recently. Some of y'all saw it, some of y'all didn't. And if you haven't yet, don't miss the chance to get this free masterclass. Typically, I charge for this stuff, but I made it free for those who are fast action takers. Down at the link in my comments, you can get access to it now, before it comes down. How to stop being a man's internship so you can finally receive your blessing. If you didn't get access to that, go ahead and register because it might be down by the time we even get off of this. So you don't miss your spot where I simplified and I broke down how to avoid being a man's internship, how to avoid being a man's training camp, basic training, just preparing him for the next woman. But back to what I was saying, moral of the story is this, guys. Like, there are men out here who are so weak, they're intimidated by the woman that only came to love them. And that intimidation will express in discouragement, in overly criticizing, in neglect, in manipulation. Anytime that you try to love on him or show him desire for him to be his best self, he'll punish you for it. There are weak men out here who give all the credence in the world to the saying, no good deed goes unpunished. As a good woman, you trying to show up good for that man because you see the good that he could be and he'll punish you for it. There are men out there like that. And then there are men out here who want to see you win, that want to see you elevate, that want to see you at peace, that want to see you get rid of all that paranoia that you took into the relationship from the last relationship, that want to heal with you and help you heal only by supporting your healing journey. Because of course they can't make you, but there are men out here who want to see you win in life, in your careers, and in your role as a friend, as a sister, as a mother, as a daughter. There are men out here who truly want to see you win and desire to see you win. But you got to be able to recognize those men. And you can't recognize those men if you're distracted by the others who are so weak that they're intimidated by your greatness. But those are just my thoughts. I'm your internet brother trying to look out, per usual. And look, if you got something from this conversation, I don't want your money. I'm good. But what I do want you to do is pay it forward to somebody else in your timeline so they can be blessed the same way that you got blessed by hitting that share button. That's it. Pay it forward to somebody on your timeline by hitting that share button. Share this conversation so somebody on your timeline, one of your friends and family, can be blessed the same way that you just got blessed. And if you want to make sure that you avoid being a man's internship, click the link that you see pinned right here. Look, this link right here at the bottom, right here by my page. Click that link, get access to the free masterclass, how to stop being a man's internship, so you can finally receive your blessing before it comes down, because it will come down soon. But yeah, that's it. Holla at y'all, lady. Y'all be good.